Yasuke the Black Samurai is an anime that took inspiration from the historical figure with the same name, the first black samurai in Japan. And when I first saw the trailer of this on Netflix, I was so excited. I had high expectations for it, not just because of the title, but also because my man Lakeith was the main voice actor. I'd even watch it in Japanese like the true weeb that I am because of him. Well, in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the anime, but just to save you some time, I thought it was mid. And I was honestly disappointed, but nevertheless there were some things that stood out to me, both positive and negative. Eusebio Ibrahimo Baloi, or Yasuke as he went by in the anime, was the manservant of an Italian missionary, and he got bought by the daimyo at the time, Oda Nobunaga, to become his bodyguard. The first reaction Oda had to Yasuke was that you would expect of anyone that hadn't come across a person with dark skin. He thought that he was unclean and asked that he be washed, which is expected especially for the people at that time in Asia. Yasuke was shown to stand out not only with his skin color but with his height as well. He stood at 6 feet tall, which in Japan at the time made him a giant, considering that only 70 years ago the average height in Japan was 5'3". Yasuke was a very principled man. Following the timeline in the anime, the first encounter that he had was defending a young boy from someone that appeared to be of noble origin. And this was what caused Oda to take interest in him. He would eventually become Oda's right hand and would fight in some very historic wars alongside him. In the anime, Oda was defeated by the Yami no Daimyo, or the Dark Lord, who was assisted by one of Oda's men that betrayed him, Akechi Mitsuhide, which would lead to Nobunaga committing seppuku in the presence of Yasuke. The reason for Mitsuhide's betrayal is unknown, but the anime hints at it having to do with his disapproval of Oda's decision to bring in a mere servant or an outsider into their ranks and treating him the same or even better than his own kids. And while Yasuke did not care for his remarks, I think he played a role in the guilt that he carried with him as the show went on. After the war was over, he managed to escape, but he resigned himself to a quiet life as an ordinary fisherman and hid his face with his hair that he grew out, like he was ashamed of being seen. He did not get too close to anyone and had no friends over the years. Everywhere he went, he was always referred to as his color first before anything else. The black fisherman, the black samurai. And I say I was disappointed with this anime because I feel like there was more to exploring the character that was Yasuke, and this guilt that he carried with him for both the death of his lord Oda and having to kill someone that he considered a friend, Natsumaru, for her betrayal. And it was already teased that he had a burden, but as the story progressed I was not able to find a compelling path to redemption, even right till the end. It felt a lot like jump cuts to redemption, especially when the character of the little girl Saki was introduced. The show tried to do too much and in my opinion ended up doing nothing. It tried to balance the redemption arc for Yasuke with a storyline for Saki gaining her powers, and the fluctuation between her being able to control her powers and them going out of control was quite jarring for me, especially considering that she basically ended up having full control of her powers by the time that they got to the teacher. So I'm not sure what the point of almost everything else was. The journey of her mother trying to take her past the river and Yasuke also trying to take her past the river, if she was just going to be able to control the powers anyway and outperform anyone else that was at the school. And Yasuke's story just left me feeling like it was not fully fleshed out, which is fine, but if that was the case, Saki should have been the main focus of the story, or at least have her story predominate, not jumping between the two. And after watching all 6 episodes, I just felt like this could have all been done in one movie, which I guess it was, since altogether it was about 180 minutes, but the story could have been made a lot more condensed if they had that in mind. A Pokemon movie would have had me more invested in it than this did, but I also don't know if they had a budget restriction or if they were only limited to 6 episodes and couldn't really explore both as much as they really wanted to. And my last criticism about this show would have to be the huge plot hole, which was when Yasuke died for saving Saki. And look, I have a weird thing for significant characters dying in shows ever since Game of Thrones, okay? And I kind of felt like this moment was gonna save the movie for me, but then they decided to use the pendant to bring him back to life. Nobody else has been able to be brought back to life throughout the show. The same pendant that her mom technically had when she died, granted that it did fly off her neck. But what about Natsumaru, who was wearing it around her when Yasuke basically staked her in her heart? Okay, maybe it can only be used by someone with powers. Quite convenient. At the end of the day, this added nothing to the story for me. If he was gonna die, then let him die. If he wasn't, then just leave him alive. Killing him and bringing him back to life made it worse for me than if he just stayed alive. That being said, the show did have amazing music. The opening music was really good, and I think the scores that were used for the fight scenes always got me excited. And the fight scenes themselves weren't too bad either. But I will say my favorite moment was definitely when Baymax went and self-destructed after seeing his friend die. That honestly tugged my emotional strings more than any other part of the movie. And there's some other things that I could get into, like how my guy over here accepted to do another job for these people for triple the pay when they said they would have to find a way to work something out when he asked for double the pay earlier. If they were shaky on double pay, how are they gonna give you triple pay, my guy? Anyways, that was my impression of Yasuke. I was hoping for more of a historical story of the legendary black samurai, or even just a story of a girl with powers and this legendary samurai started protecting, and how her powers grew to be able to defeat the Dark Lord. But nah, they couldn't just stick to one. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you like the anime? Did you hate it? Leave in the comment sections and be sure to like the video and subscribe for more.